Good morning and welcome to my Community Health Assessment and Plan presentation. This is Jennifer Lee. In the United States and in the state of Wisconsin, two of the primary causes of premature death amongst adult populations remain heart disease and stroke. In answer to this problem, the CDC and CMS have joined hands to create a national campaign currently known as the Million Hearts Campaign. Is it a national initiative to reduce the incidence of heart disease and stroke by 1 million patients within 5 years? As an offshoot of this, we have the Hertzing University Biggest Loser Contest. What is the definition of community? According to this course's Realize It readings in the Foundations of Community Health Nursing, a community is a collection of people who interact with each other and whose interests and characteristics form the basis for a sense of unity or belonging. This is my windshield survey for Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is in the southeast corner of Wisconsin, where the Hertzing Brookfield campus is, that I live just a few minutes away from. Current population is 40,000 people. Most residents are Caucasian. The 20% that are not are either some mix of Asian, Indian, or Middle Eastern. Most residents here are married with children, living in single-family houses. There are actually very few apartments and condos here for rent. Almost everything livable in the city of Brookfield is a house for purchase. The current average household salary is over $100,000, but Brookfield is a rather small place, 27 square miles. Most people here, when they're not working, they like to hunt and fish. When it's time for vacation, almost everybody has a cabin up north somewhere. Brookfield has agricultural roots. It used to be a farming community. Right now it's a little bit country, little bit city. There's a lot of construction happening because a lot of businesses did not survive COVID. So a lot of those businesses have been torn down, and in its place, the city has started building more apartment complexes and fancier shopping centers to try and attract a more younger crowd, as Brookfield tends to be one of those places where families move to and they never leave, so we do have a substantial senior citizen population. Community assessment data generation. According to the Wisconsin Department of Health, the current most common causes of morbidity in the state of Wisconsin, and this is fairly accurate for the city of Brookfield as well, remain obesity, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. And of those residents that have high blood pressure, half of them have uncontrolled high blood pressure, and half of the people who have uncontrolled high blood pressure aren't even aware that they have high blood pressure. This is a pretty common problem over here. According to the CDC, and this study was pretty pertinent during the course of the COVID pandemic, the primary causes of death in Wisconsin and in Brookfield were COVID and heart disease. Interesting correlation is that for those people that had heart disease and then caught COVID, they fared worse. Those people that had COVID but did not have pre-existing heart disease, their hearts were substantially damaged along with their lungs, it being a circuit system. And it remains to be seen as yet, because COVID is still kind of on the down curve, whether or not the damage these patients' hearts inflicted is going to be chronic or something that they will be able to fix over time. Community partners and resources. My primary partner and greatest resource for this project was my liaison professor, Megan Tinsley. She is my advisor at the Brookfield campus. She was also my med-surg teacher. She let me use the pediatric simulation room for weekly weigh-ins for the Biggest Loser contest because there was a big hospital caliber scale in there. She also invited me to the Nursing Student Assembly, which became my forum to do a lunch and learn, so to speak, and talk about the Million Hearts campaign and to introduce the Biggest Loser contest. I also used a lot of books when I put together weekly newsletters for this Biggest Loser contest. You can see the titles listed here below. Extreme Ownership, Tools of Titans, Atomic Habits, The Art of Memory, Moonwalking with Einstein, and The Whole 30. A pertinent NANDA for the target population of my community health project reads as follows. Stress overload among students at Hertzing Brookfield related to concurrent family and work responsibilities while maintaining full-time student status as evidenced by poor quality insufficient sleep, poor eating habits, emotional lability displayed in class, having to rearrange work schedules due to conflicts with clinical rotations, lack of regular exercise, and excessive caffeine intake. So, the plan. I introduced the Million Hearts campaign during student assembly, and within the course of this campaign, the CDC and the CMS established 3 priorities as a means to accomplish their goal of reducing heart disease and stroke by 1 million patients within 5 years. They focused on 3 things. Number 1, build healthy communities. 2, optimizing care. And 3, focusing on health equity. For the purposes of my community health project, which was the Biggest Loser contest, I zoned in on the first priority, build healthy communities, and specifically one subset of that priority was decrease physical inactivity. It's no surprise, it's no secret that the more physically and consistently active we are, the less incidence of heart disease and stroke we have. So, the Biggest Loser contest is the answer to decreasing physical inactivity. It was a 4-week contest that was not only meant to get people moving, but it was also meant to serve as a stepping stone by which people could start creating some good habits. The goals of this contest reads as follows. After the duration of the contest, which was 4 weeks, participants will drink 72 ounces of water daily for women, men 104 ounces daily. This is in line with WHO recommendations for daily water intake. The second goal was that participants would start to pack healthy lunches to class and at work 5 days a week, which would consist primarily of protein and fresh produce. The third goal I had was after project completion, participants will go to the gym and move and get some exercise at least 3 times a week for at least 3 months. The thinking there being, if you consistently do that, do something like that for that long, you'll have gone a long way towards establishing a good habit that you are more likely to continue. So the specifics of the Biggest Loser contest, it was 4 weeks in duration. There were 4 weekly weigh-ins, Wednesday afternoons. I went to the Hertzing Brookfield campus where a lot of students were for class. We used the pediatric sim room for confidential weigh-ins. I recorded all these weights. Each participant received a weekly newsletter that I emailed out to everyone. And at the end, everybody received an ebook entitled How to Survive Nursing School Mayhem, The Healthy Way. Weight loss was calculated by percent weight loss as opposed to pounds, and after the last weigh-in, the winners received notification, and during week 5, they received prizes that were donated by Hertzing. Evaluation. I had some very interesting issues with this project that I did not anticipate. It was kind of funny. When the project first commenced, I reached out to former professors and asked them if they would put in a plug for me during class and mention the project to their students, hoping that I would get some more participants that way. I even trolled the hallways at school, looking for all sorts of familiar faces. I even talked about the project to students that I didn't know that just happened to have the misfortune of being in the hallway while I was talking about it. I posted flyers up everywhere, and during weigh-ins, I hung out for a long time to speak to people and introduce the project to them. One obstacle that I had, the very first obstacle that I had, was no one wanted to get weighed. All the teachers I spoke to and asked, if they could introduce the project to their classes, they all came back and said the same thing, because I noticed during the first weigh-in, I did not get a whole lot of people coming to the sim room for weigh-ins, nor did I even get emails with pictures of people. I had emailed out during the first week, and I had told participants, if you cannot make it to the weigh-in, you can email me a picture of your feet on a scale with your weight, and that would suffice as well. But I got very little response during the first week, and all my teachers came to me and they said, don't worry, it's not you. Everyone is real anxious about getting weighed. They don't want to see their weight. They don't want you to see their weight. And so everyone's getting cold feet. So this contest was off to a real slow start. Another obstacle I had was some people started. They showed up for the first weigh-in, and then they disappeared. Other people were non-communicative, unresponsive. They wanted to be anonymous. When I sent out newsletters, some people I individually reached out to, and I never got any responses. Anyone that I texted, anyone that I emailed to say, hey, are you coming to the weigh-in? Are you going to make it? If you want to continue, would you like to email me a picture of your feet on a scale? Did you receive the newsletter? Had nothing. No response. I had one participant who sent me a one-liner and said, I want to be anonymous, otherwise I'm not doing this. It was very odd. I thought she was going to quit, but she actually made it all the way through, and she was the grand prize winner. I ended up having to ask Professor Tinsley if she knew this particular student because I was not sure she would make an appearance to receive the grand prize. But that being said, overall feedback regarding the contest from the people that I did speak to regarding the newsletters, the contest in general, and the ebook were all positive. Those that participated, that talked to me about it, enjoyed themselves. And I kind of wish that I could have done it for longer. If this class had been a longer class, then this would have been even more fun to do for like an entire semester as opposed to 8 weeks. In conclusion, data shows that successful stress management is the key to nursing school success. According to Ricks et al. From 2021, moderate stress can facilitate academic performance. Chronic or high stress is linked to poor academic performance and a higher number of failed assessments. And so one thing I tried to stress during the course of the contest through the newsletters and the ebook that I sent out was that you have to manage your stress in order to survive. You can't just brush it off. And one thing that helps is exercise. Consistent exercise, because your brain and your body needs an outlet. I also stress that exercise, the purpose of it is not just physical, but exercise really does something for our mental health. And I stress that the purpose of this contest, along with maybe losing an inch or two or maybe a pound or two, was we're trying to form some good habits here. And James Clear in Atomic Habits, he stipulated that in the beginning, habit formation is a very small, unsatisfying sort of thing, because you don't see the change right away. He said getting 1% better every day counts for a lot in the long run. And so my thought during the course of this contest was that interventions like this were conducted with that sort of mindset. We're trying to make small changes a little bit at a time, and the end goal is that we are going to establish some permanent healthy habits that will hopefully see us successfully through nursing school. Thank you very much.